When I say things behind you, I say it in front of you. I'm done with the friendship.
You guys is the soundtrack for me. The people that are in charge of editing this reunion or the show in general, it's as if they've done editing for some action movies, because they're always ready with the soundtrack to just, you know, drop it like it's hot. So you guys, today we had the final episode of the Real Housewives of Lagos season 1 reunion, and I don't know, I'm having mixed feelings about this whole thing, because I don't think this is enough. I feel like we need one more episode, or because there's so many things that are still left unsettled, or there's so many things that were not addressed, or so many things that were not expanded upon. To me, these 2 episodes was not enough to settle everything that needed to be settled, and new things. They were even bringing in new things that we've not heard of before. So it's like they just left us hanging, and then we're supposed to use our head or just assume the remaining things. But we're just going to go with it. We're going to accept what they've given us. They did well. The show was good so far. Welcome back to my channel, guys. If you are new here, please do subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that I can get notified each time I post a brand new video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So let me just begin with the first issue that they settled. So they started off with Toyin and Chioma's issue. You guys know that there was a time that they had this whole back and forth about, oh, you being a competition, you arriving just to make an entrance. So today they asked Chioma about her statement. Chioma made a statement about, oh, what's there to compete with? So they asked Chioma what she meant about the statement, and for Chioma, she was just like, she has a different style from Toyin. So Toyin can maybe make crayons. She made reference to the whole crayons thing, that maybe Toyin can make crayons, and she appreciates that Toyin sees that as art and everything, but their style is different. That's what she meant by, oh, what's there to compete with.
She does her, like, you know, artist. Like, I would never wear crayons, for instance, but I can appreciate the fact that she finds the art in it and she can create that.
I don't think that statement was from a place of appreciation at all. That did not sound like an appreciation statement in any way.
I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, this person looks good, who do you think you are, or oh, you're trying to outshine. I'm not, like, I don't watch what other people are doing.
On Toyin's angle, she was just speaking about saying that, oh, Chioma is always trying to make an entrance, that's why she comes late, that she's not, that if she feels a certain way about somebody, that she's going to say, that she's not afraid to say that this is how she feels. But that it's Chioma that mentioned the whole idea of competition, that she's not in a competition with her, that she's not also in a competition with her. But Toyin's utterances during the show made it seem that way, like she was always saying, oh, I'm going to make you make the grand entrance. Even things that didn't even relate to the situation. That was just like Toyin was in the middle of all of that.
If I feel like that, I'm not afraid to say to you that I feel this is what you're doing because you want to make a grand entrance. And me saying you want to make a grand entrance does not mean that I'm competing with you. And next thing she says, oh, I'm not competing with you, it's not a competition. My dear, I never even said it was a competition.
It did feel like Toyin was competing in a way. And as for Chioma, I found Chioma a little bit too much sometimes. Like the way she dresses to some occasions, then always putting on makeup, and then you're like, is it not just dinner, or is it not just jogging and all of that? So I did find it a little bit too much sometimes, but you know, that's just her. Maybe that's how she has decided to portray herself, and that's how she has decided to be. And then she also explained the whole aspect of trying to, when she was powdering her face, she said that she has oily skin, so she tries to make up she tries to make sure that she adjusts her makeup so she will not be looking like you know, she should not be looking all oily on screen. So you know, that's just that with her. And also Toyin, she said that she found that statement very insulting to her brand, that it was almost like she was kind of talking down on her brand, that the way she dresses others is not the way she dresses herself.
My personal style is different from what I do. I would literally make everything they're wearing. When I show up, I wear something avant-garde, artistic. That is my personal style. And she's saying that I felt like she was watering down my brand, because my brand is my life's work.
Then there's a statement that Toyin made about like going to Chioma's house, eating bad meat. And I was like, as in, like, how did this even come into the conversation? So she was just talking about her experience, or just saying that she has designed things for Chioma, and then, you know, there's no jealousy there.
I had issues with going to eat at a place and I ate bad meat, and I never went publicly to say, oh, I did this Chioma. So regardless of whatever issue.
What exactly is bad meat? Like, doesn't mean that the meat was spoiled, or that the meat was not well cooked, or that it's a different kind of meat that she doesn't eat. I don't understand what was going on there. But moving on, there's something that happened that I particularly liked. So when Toyin was talking, right, Chioma kind of like interjected and started saying her own things, right? And then Toyin now complained about the fact that she should not let somebody talk, that Chioma will not allow somebody talk, should just be more like talking over somebody just because she knows how to speak English, What really made it hilarious for me is the fact that this is literally what Toyin has been doing throughout this reunion, interrupting people. Like she has literally talked over almost every other person that she has had an issue with in this reunion. So it felt good to see that this was happening to her and she was not complaining. I said, sure, when you're doing it to others, you did not know, Abby.
Toyin is probably in competition because I don't watch what she's doing.
In competition,
you said that I came. Hold on, I don't get it.
Your issue is you want to talk, and you don't want people to talk or to express themselves because you feel you know how to speak English.
It's not about English.
It's about English because you always mouth off. You did that. You did.
So, my dear brothers and sisters, that's how they now graduated to another issue. Toyin brought up the issue that they had during Laura's fashion show, right? She said, you know that Chioma said that Toyin was showing her fashion pieces at Laura's fashion show and Toyin got dragged for it. Like, why would you be doing that? This is your friend's fashion show, and then, you know, the whole competition stuff. So Toyin now brought that one up, and they now had like this is when they now started having like the major back and forth argument. Chioma was like, but you showed me that. So apparently it turns out that Chioma asked Toyin to make a piece for her, like design something for her, right? But it was not during the show. So maybe she asked her whenever she asked her, and then Toyin now decided that it's during that fashion show that she's gonna show her the fashion pieces.
And said that I was showing you my collection at Laura's fashion show, which you know that you asked me to make things for you, and I was showing you all the things.
Okay, Toyin, why would you pick at Laura's fashion show to show me the things that I supposedly?
I sit down there, do I see you?
It's unfair.
For me, I felt like her showing her whether she said that she doesn't have a collection on her show, that she was just showing her the design she has made for others, regardless of what it is that she was showing her. That was not the right time or the place for that. So for that particular thing, I wasn't wondering why they even brought it up, because it did not still make sense. The explanation did not still make sense. So while all this was happening, it was Caroline's reaction for me. She was just like, yeah, man. It was just a reaction for me. The way she was reacting was just, the way she was acting was just so funny. Meanwhile, Uti was having the time of his life. Like, he was just watching them. They were just going back and forth, back and forth. After a while, Miriam now said, it's okay. You guys need to cut this argument. It's okay. Then she now told them that they should stop so that they can move on to the next. I was like, yes, good.
We have to move on now. Camera calls. We have to move on now. Stop. We have to move on.
Thank you. Thank you, Miriam.
I was like, yeah, thank you. Thank you. You don't allow arguments go on and on and on and on, especially when it's not looking like it has a headway, because they were just saying so much that it was hard to even hear what they were saying, right? They were just talking over each other, and it wasn't really making sense. So, Miriam, thank you. Thank you for stopping the argument. After a while, they now continued talking. They didn't even stop. Okay, they stopped for like some seconds, and then they now continued again. At this point, Miriam wasn't having it. She now said she's coming away, that when they are ready, bite my dog, that when they are ready, they should call her, that let her go out and smoke some cigarettes. Miriam is a character. I feel like Miriam is that kind of friend that you would like to, vibe with, go out with, and you guys go out, hang out, and all, like, life of the party kind of vibe. So, that's just what happened there. Then, after a while now, the matter, like I said, refused to die. Toyin now made a statement about, like, competition and you thinking you're better than others kind of stuff. And then Chioma now said that, Toyin has a complex, right? Chioma was like, Toyin has a complex. And this is when Toyin now stood up and attacked, like...
I'm better than you. I think I'm better than you. Why do you better than you?
Try me. I'll slap your fucking face.
You think I have a what are you saying? What are you doing, Toyin? You shouldn't go this far now. What are you saying? Come on, Toyin.
To be honest with you guys, when I watched the snippet of this fight, right, I thought maybe something really happened. Maybe Chioma said something that maybe they didn't show us that made Toyin to go and attack. But watching it now, it's like it was not even that deep. Like, literally, you guys are just having a back and forth that did not even go very, very deep, and it was like, it turned to basketballs. I don't know what warranted that. The argument she even had with Caroline was way deeper, and there was no attack. So, isn't that Chioma that is going to bear the consequences for that? Maybe it was transferred aggression, safe. I don't even know. That one concerned them, sha. Later on, the matter continued. They even showed us 2 hours later. It was like a movie. They were like 2 hours later, because it took some time for them to get them to come back together and like relax. So when they came back in, they now moved on to Chioma and Caroline's matter. They started off by showing us their friendship, doing, you know, the good days, the good times, showed us clips of them together, and I was like, oh, this was actually cute. Like looking back at it, like the times they spent together and all of that, I was like oh my god. So Uti now asked Chioma what happened, like when, okay, no, what made them bond, right? Abi, how did she see Caroline as somebody that she wanted to be friends with? And then Chioma was like, they just clicked, found out that okay, they have similarities and all of that. And then Caroline said that the reason she clicked with her, Abi, the reason she like bonded with her is because she figured that okay, they are both Cancerians. And then I think she said she has patronized her before her business, and then in that night she got a warm smile from her, and that's how things picked up. After the good part, they now showed us the parts where things started to go south. Uti asked Chioma when she started noticing that okay, this friendship, you know, is going south, or things are, you know, wrong with the friendship and all. They showed us where what they call it, Caroline. You guys know that during the argument that Caroline had with Laura, she mentioned something that Chioma told her, right? And then they now brought up that issue. Chioma now said that during that argument, she didn't expect that Caroline was going to bring up what she said to Caroline. That what she said to Caroline, she said it since at the boohoo, like the first gathering they had together. So she was surprised that Caroline mentioned it there.
I was taken aback, you know, and I was a little bit shocked. Me not saying anything it's not because I was trying to say, oh, I never said that, blah, blah, blah. I did say it, you know, but for me, I felt like it wasn't the time or the place to even be having that discussion. It was so unrelated to what they were arguing about.
So she didn't really take it well, but later on Caroline apologized to her. They showed us, you know, that time that they went shopping for towels they went to get towels for Caroline's client. So Chioma now said that they had settled there, she was fine, you know. She just told her that she doesn't like the fact that she will say something to her, she'll go and say it outside, that she should not do that kind of thing to her. So that's when things started to you know, go south. We'll refer back to this particular statement later on. Then as for Caroline, they asked her too that when did she start noticing red flags, and she was like, hey, that she was not looking out for red flags with Chioma. She didn't have any issues with Chioma or anything, so she wasn't looking out for red flags. So she didn't really give much details as to when things went south or when things were wrong per se. So yeah, they now brought about the Dubai issue. Dubai, where literally everything negative or all the issues happen between the ladies. So they started off with Caroline's bracelet. Uti talked about Caroline's bracelet, that she found the bracelet now. She's like, she has not found it. So he just he just apologized to her. I was like, you know, hopefully she'll get another one. She was like, amen. And, you know, just moved on from that. The next thing was Miriam. You guys know that Miriam had an issue with Toyin concerning the room matter. She just felt some type of way because this is something that they had already agreed upon. She won the game, and, you know, she was just talking. At some point, Toyin now said that have you carried the room back to Nigeria? And then she was like, in fact, Miriam should shut up. Immediately she said that, I was like, hey, wahala. I thought it was going to cause issues because Miriam also told her to shut up, and then the next thing they were now playing. I was like, okay, is this playing? Is this how you guys play?
Are you playing? What type of playing is this? This is playing? Why
you compensated me Dubai to Nigeria. I am shut up. This is shut up. This is shut up. I people shut up.
And then they now went on to the Operation Ignore Laura. The Operation Ignore Laura issue. Yaba was explaining that they had decided earlier on that this Dubai trip, they're going to go have fun, and they're going to ignore Laura if she brings drama, and then if maybe she's cool, then they'll be cool, but if she brings drama, they're going to ignore her. That they wanted to have fun, right? And that Laura apologized that night. You guys remember when Laura apologized? So she was kind of like, you know, she gave her a chance to like, okay, let us all have fun together and all of that. Then that's what now caused issues later on.
We didn't know exactly, because, you know, with Laura today, she might say, I'm fine, no, nothing. And the next minute she might come and start, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm not feeling ill. So we didn't know exactly, but we wanted to have so much fun in Dubai.
And I actually do understand that angle of, okay, this person is always bringing problems, so it's better we avoid. You guys know that Laura, she was having mood swings a lot. I don't know whether it's because of the pregnancy or that's just how she is, but she was having a lot of mood swings. So I actually do understand them saying that we're not going to come and feed into the drama that's going to happen here. So I actually do understand that, and Laura actually took it well. She even laughed over the whole matter. So yeah, now because they had reconciled with Laura and everything, they were now, you know, there were different times that they had a conversation. There was now a time where Laura, Toyin, and Yabo, they were having a conversation, and apparently Chioma and what they call Caroline walked in, and her countenance changed according to Yabo. She said that she didn't see it then, but it was later on when they were having, they now fell out, that she now heard that that was Caroline's reaction to seeing that scenario, right?
And then you walked in with her and you saw us, and then your countenance changed. Now, I didn't see that. I didn't expect that. But I heard that after we had our issue.
So I think that's pretty much where the whole wahala started from. And it's most likely Chioma that would have told her, like, maybe when they now had the issue, that's when Chioma was not telling her that, okay, this is where the wahala even started from, like her seeing them with Laura and all of that. So Yaba also mentioned that she had been getting a lot of complaints, that she had been hearing a lot of things concerning Caroline, and Caroline, you know, maybe causing trouble. She said that she had heard that Caroline had issues with like almost all the crew members, and then she also spoke about Caroline saying she wanted to leave, she was tired of the show, Then she now decided that, oh, let her just even go and talk to her. And that's when she got the label of you're doing too much, like, or that's what brought about the label of you're doing too much. So that's why when they had their issue, and Caroline now used that whole word of, oh, you're doing too much, that you should stop, don't always act like my mother and all of that, it really got to her, because she was just on her own part, she was just trying like, okay, you know, this is just me trying, and it was used against her.
A lot of complaints were coming to me about her,
Such as?
and I kept making excuses for her. Like, she was rude to the crew was having issues with her. She said she was tired of the show. And I just felt like, okay, let me just talk to her.
Speaking of season 2, now that, you know, we're talking about the whole Caroline saying she didn't want to be part of it again, who would you guys like to see in season 2? Who would you guys like to see come back in season 2? Just let me know in the comment section. Is there any housemates or any housewife that you like them to yank off? Or any housewife that you want to be, you know, still be part of the show. Then moving on, Yabo continued and was talking about the fact that she was really hot, that even in the billionaires club, she was down, she was really down. And I can remember when I think I listened to some part of the podcast she had, and she said that Chioma mentioned that she was crying in the bathroom, in the restroom, and then Yabo was like, she doesn't really cry like that, except she's really, really hot. So the thing that Caroline did to her, the things that Caroline said to her really, really, really got to her, and I cannot honestly judge her for that.
Even if you buy me a whole mansion, it just cannot go away, because you've caught me in a place that is really deep. I don't cry. I can only cry for my children. If I cry, I'm pained, and it has gotten somewhere wrong in my own system.
Then this is when she now gave a literal display of what happened that night, the way that Caroline approached her that night. She was like, you're doing too much, you know, my mother, When she was acting, Uti had to call her Oshe actress, because she was literally like acting out the whole situation, that if you were not even there, you'd be like, okay, we can visualize what happened there.
So I need her to understand that you coming to say, I mean, you can't tell me what is wrong with you? You do too much. What is it? Leave me alone. I'm talking to you. You're so insensitive. And you were going on. Are you expecting me?
Yabo is a drama queen. So she now spoke about the gift, right? You guys know that Caroline mentioned that she even gave her a gift, you know, just as part of the apology. She said that she didn't want to collect the gift, that Chioma was the one that, like, you know, gave her to collect, and that's why she collected the gift. And then she also mentioned, I think she said this particular one was on Instagram. She said that she returned the gift later on. So apparently, I think I'm finding out that, oh, this babe is not as if she was even really sorry. She was just doing all of that for doing sake. Then she now returned the gift. This is when Caroline now decided to clear the air on the whole apology and being sorry. She was like, she was genuinely sorry, that she just wants to clear the air, that she was genuinely sorry.
The reason why I'm talking now is because I need to make you understand that as much as you want space, I did mean my apology. I really did mean my apology from the depths of my heart. The next day, Chioma and I had a misunderstanding.
The whole idea once and for all. You guys, so let's just dissect this particular issue once and for all, because I was thinking that they would expand on it in this video, which they did not really expand on it, but let's just dissect it for the last time, because this is the last episode, or this is the last episode of the season. So now, when it comes to the whole Iyabo Caroline situation, Iyabo was in her feelings. She was entitled to feel how she wanted to feel, right? Feeling hurt, everything. She was entitled to her feelings. That's how she felt. Caroline, on the other hand, was also entitled to her feelings, feeling how she felt, right? Now, Caroline was the one that, started off with the whole aggression and everything, but Iyabo physically attacking her literally cancelled out whatever it is that Caroline did to her, because if I do something to you and you already pay back by trying to attack me, then we are even. We are literally even. So I don't even know why they were even pushing her to like apologize, right? So now, the part where is somehow, to me, is the whole genuineness of the apology. Or it's better for her to even say, oh, at that time I was in my feelings too, I was really hurt too, so obviously that's why the apology did not come across like that. But saying it was genuine, then you get that to be, because I don't know if you guys heard, it's only me that heard the way the apology came. We did not see all these parts, all these ones, everything that happened, but from the one that we saw while they were at the pool, Caroline said, Chioma asked me to apologize to you. It's only me that saw it, because I just thought it's almost as if it's only me that saw it.
That's why we're all having
I'm happy. Okay, Chioma said she wanted me to apologize, so I'm sorry, my love. I love you very much. You've always been there for me, and I've always been there for you.
That's why when they were arguing about who said she apologized to who, I was like, but you just said no. Chioma said you should apologize to her, and you're saying Chioma didn't say. So that's particular scene, if you start an apology by saying this person say I should apologize to you, then there's no form of genuineness in that, right? So that's just how I viewed it, that's just how I saw it. That's why that particular fight was somehow, I didn't want to take any sides, because it was just like scattered in a way. So I don't think it was really about the apology. It was about like the way everything went and the whole gifting. According to Iyabo, she said that she holds things in her heart. That's on her. She wants to hold it. Is on her, right? That she prefers to be given time. Caroline is not supposed to know that. Caroline will not know that, okay, you need time, and then these are the other people telling her, oh yeah, go and apologize. But in fact, that's just let me just express how the thing is doing me, because they did not really expand on it. But moving on to the next thing, they now went on to talking about Miriam brought a gift for Caroline, right? They didn't even talk about Caroline and Chioma's that argument that they had at the pool. You see, that's why I decided Chioma and Caroline, they need a specific reunion for just them to address their issues, because it was a long stuff. But since they've cancelled the friendship, there's nothing coming out from that. Now, Miriam brought a gift for Caroline, right? And apparently the gift that she gave Caroline was what Caroline gave her before. So she was returning the gift that Caroline gave her. And I was like, okay, what's happening? What's going on here? So Miriam now explained why she was returning Caroline's gift. Apparently, Miriam's dinner was supposed to be, this time the dinner was supposed to hold, it didn't hold. So they had to move it to a later date. And for the first date, it was only Chioma, Caroline, and Laura that were around. So they were supposed to be the ones to attend. And then she said that she was told, I think Chioma told her that there are certain comments that, there are certain comments that Caroline made about Miriam, that she should be careful, she should not go to her house and all of that.
There's some things that she said that I don't want to speak on, because this is my family and I don't allow anybody. I'm not a Laura or a Toyin that you speak of my family, that if you speak on it on camera. The reason I'm not beginning it on camera is because it wasn't said on camera.
While she was talking, Caroline was just kind of like trying to intrude and interject into the conversation. I was saying that she didn't say that, like, why would she believe what Chioma told her that she didn't say that, right?
Or that I want to use somebody's star. That Chioma, she has to make sure that they open water. Or she kept on calling Chioma over and over again, don't come. Don't put your bag there, or don't do this, or else she's going to use her star. People like them, they use jazz. Baby girl, if I use jazz,
then Chioma now started off with her own conversation or her own explanation. Chioma was saying that when she joined the group, that she didn't really know most of the ladies. So it was almost like, it was kind of like through Caroline that she got to know most of the ladies, and it was like more like, okay, it's Caroline's account of the ladies that she took, like that's how she got to know the ladies. So several things, like she was just trying to prove that particular thing happened.
About their past, things that they had done, blah, 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 how she had an issue with Toyin. Even when things were still kind of cool, right? Naturally, and I think I said this on the show at some point, like, because we're so close, anybody she has an issue with, she'll kind of expect me to have an issue with that person.
She also spoke of Toyin, that apparently Toyin and Caroline, they had an issue of like they had an issue during the show, and because of that issue they were not talking for weeks, and we didn't know about it. And what things that are happening behind the camera more than things that are happening on screen, though. So they had an issue for a very long time, right, on the show, and we didn't know. Production team, what happened, what are going, forgive us small hints. So yeah, moving on. Caroline now, came in to defend herself. Now started talking about the fact that when she met that at the beach, while they were at the beach, that she gave the account of Toyin that she gave Chioma was that Toyin is a nice person, that she told Chioma that Toyin is a nice person at the beach, which Chioma did not agree with, and all of that.
Hold on, let me finish. You can't say
the first time we went to the beach, this lady asked me about Toyin.
Let me land.
I said Toyin is a nice person.
Told me
That
about
was what I
myself
said.
completely.
Let me land, because you're
deflecting and you're deviating.
I do not have time for that.
And for me, it's hard to agree with it. Yeah, I don't know if it was true or not. I can't say if it was true or not, but it's hard to agree because of the fact that these two people, they've had their deep-rooted issues for a very, very long time. So it's we had to agree with the fact that, oh, this is what this person told her, right? So, but I can't really say because I wasn't there with them. I don't know what exactly happened. Meanwhile, Chioma said that when Miriam joined the group, Caroline was like, she doesn't like her vibe, and then Caroline was like, hey, that it was Chioma that said something about Miriam, that she said that they should not what they call it, interact with Miriam because she doesn't want her to be part of the wives. At this point, Chioma carried her hand and put on her head.
When Miriam joined the show, Caroline said to me, she doesn't like Miriam's vibe, she doesn't want to be friends with Miriam.
When we had that conversation,
I never said anything about Miriam.
I should not be nice to Miriam because you don't want Miriam to be one of the wives. You said that in Abuja.
Let me take this clear to you guys.
I was like, okay, what's going on here? So it was just a crazy stuff of like back and forth. I'm like, okay, who do we believe now? When it comes to issues like this, we're just gonna move on because there's nobody that can really say what is what. You guys need to be taking recordings of these things when you're giving us story. Be like Tonto DK that has receipts for everything so that we can believe. They now went on to talk about Miriam now talk about Miriam now spoke about the podcast that Caroline had, right? So basically Caroline had a podcast. In that podcast, it was a very long podcast, the podcast that they usually have like after party show. So the podcast that they had, they told Caroline that Miriam was doing too much. That is it because she was auditioning. Caroline was like, probably. This is what Miriam said. Oh, me, I didn't really listen to that part of the podcast. It's only some part of the podcast I heard. If you guys listen to the podcast, you can let me know if that's what she said.
They asked you a question saying that the Abuja trip, Miriam was doing too much. That do you think that Abuja pajamas party was an audition? So I said, probably, I think that is why they signed that, because obviously it looked like she was auditioning. I was already
I said because you look like you were auditioning?
Yes.
So I'm guessing maybe because of that and the things that she has seen, that's why she believed Chioma's account of the story. Like, okay, this babe doesn't exactly really like you like that. You get? That's probably why Miriam believed what Chioma told her about like the whole jazz thing. But Chioma, what's happen? Like, even if Caroline told you that, right? It doesn't make sense to now go and tell Miriam. Like, that's a big deal. That's a big thing that if you tell this person, you know that, okay, this person is going to carry it in their mind for that person. So, and this is the same Chioma that said that if she has an issue with you, that she's going to keep your secret. She's going to keep your secret. So it didn't make sense that she now carried this gist to go and tell Miriam. Like, people that are close, they still talk about things, even though this particular one, it didn't make sense at all. Like, which one is jazz and which one is right? So Chioma now explained the situation further, that she what they call it, Caroline told her that she should be careful when she goes there. She should make sure that she opens her water by herself.
Caroline did not want to go. She called me, told me, do not go to Miriam's house. You don't know, these girls do jazz. You don't know anything. Lagos girls, you're naive, London, blah, blah, blah. When you go there, don't eat anything. Just say that, oh, your stomach is hurting. If they give you water, open the water, but make sure you open it by yourself.
The only part of this thing that sounds like something that maybe Caroline can tell her, just like, okay, are you a naive babe, or you don't really know so much. Me, I know these people more than you, right? But we can't really say if that happened or not. So I don't know. But even if it happened, it didn't make sense that Chioma now, spilled to Miriam, you know. So yeah, they now spoke about the Raz talk, that the part where Chioma said that the part where Caroline revealed that Chioma sees these people as Raz. Me, I was thinking it was rags then. I thought it was rags that they said, but she sees them as like Raz, like, you know, maybe days to like Abero. And then Chioma was now saying that Caroline also made that statement. Like, she also said something similar about the ladies, that she also sees them that way. That's the basis with which on which they bonded self. That first day, that it was that first outing, like at the Tiana's event, Toyin's event, that's when they had that conversation. After meeting the other ladies, they were like, oh, these babes, they are Raz.
That's actually how we kind of bonded in the first place. I personally was like, I didn't really expect this to be the crowd. Caroline was not happy with the other people that she saw on the show. So if you want to come here, I said, you said that they were Raz. Were you not saying that? Did you not have an issue with them?
That's how they formed their own togetherness, which is what I suspected before. I actually felt like that was how their friendship was formed. I was feeling like, okay, these people just saw themselves as we're not like these people, we are different, we're like posh babes, these ones are just like you know, that's how I felt. Like, that's the vibe they were giving off in the friendship, like, okay, these ones are, you know. So that's how the friendship was formed. And then it now continued on with a lot of gossips and talking about the other ladies, which wasn't going to last in the first place, because of how it was formed, right? So that's how they now continued. Then Utina asked about the friendship, like, what will it take, like, what moving forward, what's it going to be with them and their friendship? And Chioma was like, she's not gonna lie, she, like, looking back at what they had together, it was cool and everything, that they were actually friends and they hung out a few times together. Uti was not asking, okay, so what will it take? And then she was not like, Chioma, Caroline has to stop with the lies, right?
We're actually friends. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. We became close, you know, we spoke quite a lot. We even hung out a couple times outside of the show. So there were times that, like, I did miss. However, for me, like, it's the lies. I don't understand. I can't explain it to you.
What
like,
would you take to strengthen the friendship?
She has to stop with the lies.
So that's Chioma's own condition for, like, you know, if anything were to move on. Meanwhile, Caroline said that for her it's over, that nothing, that the friendship is done, it's a done deal. Hey, gang. I was like, okay.
When I say things behind you, I say it in front of you. I'm done with the friendship.
Utina asked Laura that how does she feel redeemed, like, seeing everything that happened, because you guys know that she made a statement about, like, I am serving the God of miracles. So Mina asked her, like, is it that she felt redeemed? Why was she acting like that? She was not like, that. Then she don't even really know what happened in Dubai, that there's so many things that she's hearing now that she has not heard before, but she kind of feels redeemed because she was saying before that Caroline lies confidently. So now seeing everything come to play, seeing everything in action, she feels a little bit redeemed. Then she now laughed.
She didn't want me to know what was going on. So all these things I'm just hearing it for the first time because I didn't know what was going on in Dubai.
So you feel redeemed?
Yeah, and I wasn't even there when they were fighting. So yeah, I feel very, very, very redeemed.
Oh God, Laura was literally having the time of her life for this reunion. You would even beg to question, like, you would ask yourself, like, this Laura during the show, it's not the same. It was not time for reconciliation. Okay, no, Chioma now talked about, you guys know that Laura made a statement about Chioma coming to her room the day after. Chioma was not like, now told her that, but she didn't come to her room. And then Laura was not like, that she didn't come to her room, that the conversations that they had happened while they were in the bus going to their final destination for the trip. And Laura was not like, she saw all of them. In fact, the team wanted to graduate to a back and forth, but Utina said, let them conclude. And that's how they now concluded. Uti asked them lessons learned, like the lessons that they've gotten from the show and what they are doing moving forward. What's it going to be for them moving forward? All of them just talked about their business, what they're doing now, you know, just basically business. And then for lessons learned, Caroline said she has learned that salt looks like sugar. Chioma agreed with that statement, that salt looks like sugar. I believe they're talking about each other, like, okay, you know, maybe they thought they were sugar before and then now they realize that they're salt.
Salt also looks like sugar.
I think salt also looks like sugar too. I agree with that.
Caroline also made mention of the fact that she also learned from her situation with Laura that it's good for her to address issues with somebody that if she has issues with somebody, it's better for her to take the person on the side and address it, which is what she learned from Laura. And I actually like that. I like that she was able to learn from that situation, even though she still maintains that the pimping happened. But I actually like the fact that she was able to learn from that situation. Then that's when the toast now came in. They now toasted to season 2. For those that were going to say in season 2. So like I said, let me know who you would like to see come back in season 2. For me, I'm fine if all the ladies come back. They all gave us like different aspects of their drama. We had Miriam being the life of the party, Toyin being giving us different types of fashion plus the crayons and everything. We had Chioma also serving fashion, serving hair, serving makeup. We had Caroline serving looks, serving basbos. You know, serving. She was also pretty funny. Like there's so many places where she made funny comments. And then Iyabo also serving, like her confessionals were actually very funny. We had Laura also serving basbo, serving everything. So actually, yeah, I don't mind if all of them come back, but let me know who you'd like to see back on the show for the next season. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye, love you.